Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanora Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the 18th chapter of Ashtavakra Gita, where sage Ashtavakra talks about the nature of the reality and how a realized person operates in this world. So, same as what Arjuna asked the question in the Bhagavad Gita, Sita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha Samadhis Tasya Keshava. So, how does he transact it? How does he operate? Essentially here, the Ashtavakra talks about the nature of the mind of the realized person, and starting with putting a namaskaram to the one who has realized, because he has become one with the Brahman, because he understood I am Brahman. So what is putting namaskaram is a Brahman appearing in the form of that Jiva now, and that is the state, and the whole text, the 18th chapter talks about that. Sloka 7 now. Samastam kalpana matram atma mukta sanatanaha iti vijñāya dhīrahi kim abhyasyati bhalavat together. Samastam kalpana matram atma mukta sanatanaha iti vijñāya dhīrahi kim abhyasyati bhalavat. So here the talking about the realized person, it says one who has realized, recognized, savijñāya, iti vijñāya, having known this, dhīraha, a realized person, he indeed. So what is having known what? Samastam kalpana matram, the whole universe that I see, samastam, everything that is perceived other than the subject, every objectified entity, that is samastam, is kalpana matram. It's only kalpana, that means it's only a imagination or apparent creation or a magic show. It's a magic show from the point of a realized soul. But from the point of a jiva who is not realized, this is for him as real as the mind that perceives. So even for both the realized master as well as the unrealized jiva, the validity of the world is as real as the mind. So both are ontological status, what you call the reality of that plurality, or that the mind that perceives and the world that is being perceived, are both or of the same order reality. But when you talk about the jnani, is neither the mind nor the world. He is something that enlivens the mind, and that which, because of which mind has the capacity to perceive. Yan manasana manute yenahur manomatam tadeva brahma tvam viddhi nedam nididam upasate. What is that Brahman? That which mind cannot think, because mind can only think objectifiable entities. Yan manasana manute, that which mind cannot think. So it cannot think of Brahman, it cannot think of even Ishvara. It can only imagine Ishvara in some form for a prayer, that is called upasana. But the Lord is pervading everywhere, so the one who is infinite is imperceptible also. And that everything that I perceive in the world is kalpana. It's only a projection of the mind. Therefore, it is a local mind or the global mind. Ishvara's mind or it's Jiva's mind. Even Ishvara is created, the Jiva's mind, which is also part of the creation, has to perceive it in order to see the world. So the reality is is recognizable only when the subject is there, only object can be established. Without the subject, there cannot be object. The subject-object duality, both are transcended by that which pervades both of them, and that is what essentially the absolute truth, and that is the self, which is called witnessing consciousness. Witnessing consciousness is nothing but pure consciousness, as though is illumining the local mind, and with reference to a local mind, we call it a witnessing consciousness. It's like this. When we look at the full moon night, we are looking at the full moon, but full moon is actually being seen only because the sunlight is illumining it. Sunlight is falling there, but you don't see the sunlight, you see only moonlight. So sunlight falling on the moon, and that part of the sunlight that is falling on the moon get reflected by the moon, and I am seeing it, and see, I am seeing the moon. What I am seeing is only reflected sunlight, and reflected sunlight can exist only when there is a moon to reflect it. Sunlight may be there, but I cannot recognize the sunlight without moon reflecting it. So therefore moon is required to reflect it, but the sunlight is always there, but that part of the sunlight that is falling on the moon, which gets reflected, that we call it as a Sakshi. So that part of pure consciousness which is infinite, which cannot be seen, but that part which falls on the, as though, quote unquote, falls on the mind and gets reflected, and that part that is original consciousness, we call it the witnessing consciousness. The reflected by the mind is what is called Chidabhasa. So when the reflection depends upon the reflecting medium, and does nothing to do with the all-pervading, since there is no changes in the all-pervading reality. It's a homogeneous, pure, existent consciousness, and therefore there is no difference of any kind in the original, but the reflection depends upon the reflecting medium. If the reflecting medium is dirty, then the reflection is also dirty. Same way, if the mirror is dirty, even though my face has not changed, I cannot see the face because the reflecting medium is bad. So I had to polish the medium in order for me to see my face. Same way, I had to polish the mind, purify the mind to see the original via the reflection. I cannot see the original. I need the mirror, I need the reflection, I have to see the reflection only, or I can see only reflection. But looking at the reflection, I had to see my face. Same way, looking at the reflection of the mind, reflection of the consciousness by the mind, I had to cognitively, because I cannot see otherwise, I have to cognitively see the pure consciousness and claim myself, I am that conscious entity, not the mind. Mind is only an instrument for reflection for me to operate. So all that is involved. So samastam kalpana matram. So everything is only imagination. Imagination is only apparent but not really real. That includes the seer also, seer mind also. So even the mind and even the mind that makes this is a kalpana is also part of the same order. But here the indication is use the words, use the teacher's words, and go beyond the teacher's word in the sense that contemplate in the direction that is being pointed out by the Shastras through the teachers. So here samastam kalpana matram atma muktaha sanataha. So I want to get liberated. Liberated from what? You're already liberated. I want to be free. You're already free. Then how come I'm feeling suffering? That's because you have a wrong notion that you are limited and you are in the prison of this samsara. So imagining that you are in the prison of samsara, you have to get out of the samsara. So there is no samsara really. So this is a problem. There is no sadhana required. Nothing is required. You are already liberated. You have to know that you are already liberated. How do I know that I am liberated? If I am liberated, why am I suffering? Why do I have to do meditation? Why do I have to do this? Because you have not able to appreciate that you are already liberated, because the mind is always cocooned in this process. First it has to be purified, and so that it can recognize that the reflection is due to the original. It is the mind that needs a teaching. Therefore, it is to the mind only. The scripture says, go to a teacher, not to the pure consciousness. Pure consciousness doesn't need anything. So, therefore, there is no bondage, there is no liberation also. So, iti vijñāya dhīraha kim abhyasyati. So, here, balavatu. So, can he ever operate in this world? So it's like a child. Why do you want that I have to do this? I have to do this. I have to go. Sotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha. Scripture itself tells you, go to a teacher, study there for prolonged length of time until it is crystal clear. There are no more doubts. Contemplate, think about it, reflect on the teaching until there is no more doubts, and then meditate on that, so that that understanding sinks in as your own knowledge. All that is statements are done for what? Because you have a wrong notion. Wrong notions cannot be removed easily. That too, wrong notions that are established from the beginning. From the beginning what? From the beginning of the whole creation itself, which is beginningless. So from eternally backwards, it's been there going on, life after life after life. How do you know that I had life after life? Because you have this life. This life means that you have a past life. Past life means there's a past to past. So when this life started, there's no starting. It is beginningless entity. Therefore, it is the eternal, that life is going on because of wrong notions, and it is being confirmed every time as I transact in the world. If I don't realize it, it's more reinforced, that wrong thing is getting reinforced. Therefore, it requires all the sadhana. Not to recognize, not to realize, the sadhana is only to remove all the notion that I had to realize ultimately, notion that I need to be free, notion that I need liberated, a notion that I had to realize, that also has to be removed, that it is eternally present. So, kim abhyasati, kim abhyasyati. So, what practice I had to do in order to recognize that I am what I am. So, a gold ring is going to Himalayas. So, what for are you going? I want to realize there is a God called gold, and people said I had to go and sit in the meditation in the Himalayas and meditate on that. And some people said, in fact, you have to be sannyasi to realize, not a grihastha. So grihastha cannot realize, because why? Because Yajnavalkya left his wife, two wives. He had Katyayani and Maitreyi, and he was going to Himalaya to take up sannyasa. Why? Because he couldn't realize as a grihastha. Therefore, the Yajnavalkya did it. So what's good for Yajnavalkya is good for everybody else. So we also have to do it. Why? Then only you will realize. This is the statement in the Advaita Vedanta that sannyasi only is required in order for realization. When there's nothing for me to realize, sannyasa means to give up anything. What can I give up? Because if I don't own anything, or if I have no notion that this is mine, what is there to give up? We already covered in the 5th chapter of this Gita. Says there is no giving up. You have to give up only when you own it. If you don't own it, what can you give up? But that I don't own it itself, the notion that I own it has to be given up. That's what our problem is. So giving up is not giving up objects per se, giving up the notional understanding that this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. Because nothing is really yours. Because you came into this world with nothing, and you are going to leave this world not taking anything. So therefore, the Kare Rajul was Jamungilu, Ajamun Galagave, Sarvopatin and Pandare. This is a Telugu sloka where the Prahaladas, I forgot the names anyway. So he chants, he says, or the kings were they not kings, and so there are empires and everything. There are kings who own the thing, thinking that that's important, this is mine, that is mine, fighting with each other, and ultimately they died, and the kingdoms are gone, and generations are gone, and how many millions of billions of people are in this world? And they will be replaced by another billions of people slowly. So continuously flow of people coming in. So life after life after life. So all wonder. So each one is thinking that I am this, I am this, I am this. So Kim abhyasyati balavatu. Like a child, you are playing without understanding. So the child wants something without recognizing that he can own anything. So there was a story that a lady suddenly won in the lottery the very big amount. So she wanted to celebrate, and she asked the child, her only child, Beta, what do you want to buy? So Beta said, I want a balloon. Why balloon? We can buy a lot of things, and you can buy this. She was giving, because she has so much money now, she can afford to buy. But what does child want? Child want only balloon only. And for him, that is the biggest treasure. So like that Balavatu, I want this, I want this, I want this, like a child game, we are going after without saying, you have to leave everything here and go. So when that is the case, you have to operate in this world like a trustee, where you operate what is given to you and operate in that way, knowing very well this is not yours, but is somebody else's, but you are taken in charge of or transacting in the world temporarily. So do your best as you can. That doing best itself is a satisfaction, and that without owning anything and without possessing anything, and that becomes a jnani. So he says, such a man will not act like a child. That means here, balavatu, the implication is he will not act irresponsibly like a child, or foolishly like a child, or mischievously like a child, or playfully as a child. And in the other place we will say he is like a child. But here the implication is that he is acting as though very irresponsible. Means how come you are responsible? Because this is mine, that is there, I have to protect this, and nothing is yours or everything is yours. There is nothing particularly that really belongs to you or that doesn't belong to you also. And foolishly means I am this, I want to be happy when I get that, I want to be happy, I'll be happy with that. That is essentially foolishness, because you think there is a happiness there and you are going after. So a child cries for a small toy and goes after the toy after that, and if anybody takes that toy, he cries. The same way we are also doing. This is mine, that is yours, this land is mine, that land is yours, this is my country, your country. All that is at the transactional level. So essentially, he will be well established in the harmony of the universal self. His actions can only bring blessings to the humanity in general. So he can do no wrong. Never he can do any wrong. Because whatever he does is only out of compassion, not out of any greediness or any the mentality of small mentality. We'll do sloka 8. Atma brahmeti nischitya, Atma brahmeti nischitya, bhava bhavo cha kalpito, bhava bhavo cha kalpito, Nishkamaha kim vijanati, Nishkamaha kim vijanati, kim bhrute cha karoti kim bhrute cha karoti kim. Together. Atma brahmeti nischitya, bhava bhavau cha kalpitau, Nishkamaha kim vijanati, kim bhrute cha karoti kim. Atma Brahma iti nischitya. So Atma is nothing but Brahman, iti having determined. Bhava abhavecha, in the bhava existence, abhava in the non-existence, kalpite are all imagined. Nishkamaha kim vijanati. So one who does not have any desire for any objects in the world, because there is no real existence or there is no absence. I don't have it, non-existence. I want to possess that, I want to go after. So this existence, non-existence, have and have nots, and all that is kalpana. It's only imaginations. I imagine that I don't have it and I'm going after it. I imagine that I'm unhappy and I'm trying to solve a problem. That's what here is. The imagination that I am unhappy as I am and I'll be happy with that. That's all essentially a bhava, a notional mind. And one who does not have nishkamaha, one who does not have any desire for any object. Why? Because he is full as he is. He is not because of, he is like a stone, because he is alive and but he knows that he is not going to get any desire. Like the child, when I was a child, playing like marbles. So how many marbles I have, how many marbles he has, this is my property, that he has more marbles. All that we are playing with the marbles as though that is the property, and child is happy with number of marbles and he doesn't want anyone to take his marbles. That's a child psychology. And as the child grows up, he becomes mature and he is ready to give all his marbles to his younger brother, and the younger brother is very happy because he is still in that state. But this guy is now has become a jnani. What is a jnani? That marbles don't give me happiness because these are all silly. But he wants different things. So he wants different toys. At this level he may be playing cricket and that and all that, depending upon the age. All this goes on. You give up something because you find something else more attractive. All the way up to old age also. And old age also, people don't want to give up, and you want to possess live the lives of your children. Your children they want to live their own life, but you are so possessive and the dictate what they should know, what they should not do, and all that, because you are living their lives. And child wants to do their own life, and for parents responsibility is to bring the children up in such a way that they can be independent of the parents also, and they should be there after the child is grown and can be on their own. You have to leave them to live their own lives and be ready to advise them if they need any help. That should be the real parental approach. But here we possess them also, and we won't let them do what they want. We want to live their lives also. That is essentially the not knowing what is real and what's not real. But once I recognize that Atma Brahma iti, Atma Brahma means Atma is infinite, and I am that Atma, not that Atma is, I am that Atma Brahma, I am infinite, there is nothing really I need, I am full as I am. Therefore, anything if at all, it's out of compassion I give it, but not because I need it, so on. So Atma Brahmeti nischitya bhava abhavecha, in the existence or the non-existence of an object, kalpite are all imagined in the mind itself. Nishkamaha kim vijanati. So one who does not have any desire for any object, kim vijanati, and what does he need to know? Because he has known the essence of it. So having known the essence, he knows everything. He has a substantive knowledge of everything also. So essentially, in any objective field, the more you know, the more ignorant you become. Because in any objective field, you become a specialization of smaller and smaller and smaller, that is knowing more and more about less and less. That's called in mathematics called delta function. A straight line where it's infinite, but the area under the curve is almost zero. That's because you know nothing, but you know more and more about smaller and smaller. That's what is called a delta function is. Same way, you're trying to know more and more about less and less. That's what in any object field, you're super specialist, but you know that there are a lot more things to know. That what you know is very little. And that's essentially why a knowledgeable person knows that what he knows is very little, and therefore he becomes humble. Whereas the only half-baked fellows only think that they know very well everything. And only in the Vedantic study, a student comes and asks, "Sir, please teach me that knowledge, knowing which I know everything." So, kasmin bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati. I want to know that, knowing which I know everything. How can it be possible? Eka vijñānayana sarva vijñānam bhavati. Knowing one thing, I know everything, is also the topic of the Chandogya Upanishad 6th chapter called Sadvidya. It says, Dharaka asks, have you learned that one, knowing which you know everything? The son says, no, even my teacher doesn't know. So it says, it's possible, provided you know the cause, and the effects that come out of it are nothing but cause itself in a different form. So you have substantive knowledge, only superficial names and forms are different. If I know the gold, in a sense I know all gold ornaments because they are nothing but gold. I may not know the details of the ring and the bangle and the necklace and the bracelet and all varieties. I may not know the details of the superficial names and forms. But I know I have the essential knowledge, and that is the gold. Same way, I have the essential knowledge. I may not know the details of the superficial, which has no long-term consequences, and that's only for transactional purposes I need to know. I need to know whether it's a ring or a bangle so that I can wear properly. So utility, transactability, knowability, all that is only for finite things. That's only for transactions, but the essence of it is, if I know the essence, I know. That is kasminna bhagavo vijñāte, having known which I can know everything. And scripture says, yes, if you know that Brahman, then you know everything. How can I know Brahman? Brahman is infinite. How can I know? You no need to know, because you are that Brahman. So you are already that Brahman. Only thing to know is recognize that you are already Brahman. So essentially, nishkamaha. Therefore, I have no more desire for anything. That's why Krishna calls him Sthita Prajnaha. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan. Atmani eva atmanatushtaha. The one who is reveling in himself by himself, because the self that revels is full, complete, therefore it is a state of happiness himself. So he doesn't need anything to be happy. He has everything because he has a self that is infinite itself. So therefore he has no more desires. Nishkamaha. Kim vijanati. What is that he need to know? There is nothing need to know. So yajñātva naparanyayam. So having known this, there is nothing more to know, because you know the essential language. Kim brute. So kim brute. What need to be said about? I need to say this, I need to say this. There is nothing to say. Kim karoti. Cha karoti kim. What is there to do? What is there to talk? What is there to meditate on? What is there to recognize, realize? Because I am already that. Only thing that need to be done is to recognize that I am already that. So all the Vedantic study is needed only for the recognition, that's called realization, reanalyze that I am not this, I am pure existent consciousness which is limitless, and that's what has to be recognized. That is what is called Bandha and Moksha. And this is another sage similarly sings that Swami Chinmayanji quotes, Suddho mukta sadaivatma, Suddho mukta sadaivatma, Navai bhajyati karshachit, Navai bhajyata karshachit, Bandha muktau manasamstau, Bandha Mukto Manas Samsto Tasmin Icchanti Prashamyati Tasmin Icchanti Prashamyati Suddha Mukta, I am pure, liberated. Sat Eva Atma, I am that pure self which is eternally liberated. Navai Bhajyati, I am never bound any time. Karshachit, and Bandha Moksha, the bondage and liberation are only Manas Samstav, only in the mind. Tasmin Icchanti Prashamyati. So, having known that, so who knows that everything is liberated and is beyond any of these problems. And so one thing is recognition that I am Brahman, and recognition that I don't need anything else beyond that. That itself is what realization involves. So that's why na karmana na prajaya dhanena, not this, not by karma, not by action, not by knowledge, not by anything. By what? By tyage naike amrutamanasu, by giving a wrong notions about yourself. That is the tyagam. And amrutamanasu, you recognize you are immortal already. That's what essentially is it. We go to the next sloka tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.